Today we are going to talk about unit circles trigonometry. That's the new topics. Hack for SAT. I will give you some hint as well as tips and tricks for the SAT strategic digital SAT preparations. These topics digital SAT preparations. Let's we move on topics. That topics is called unit circles trigonometrics. The topic name is that unit circles trigonometric. Unit circles trigonometric. Now, unit circles trigonometrics we'll discuss today. These circles help us to boost your score as and improve your score uh, fastly, rapidly. Now we have some tricks of these topics. You have to know about this. The numbers of degree of arc in circle is 360. You have to understand concept already bujhne. Now some concept you have to understand from this topic, and the concept is that numbers of degree, numbers of degree, numbers of degree, numbers of degree of arc in circles, numbers of degree of arc in circles is numbers of degree of arc in circles is 360 degree. You have to understand numbers of degree of arc in circles is 360. And another point you have to understand that numbers of radian, numbers of radians of arc in circles, numbers of radian of arc in circles, numbers of the radian of arc in circles is 2 pi. You have to understand, sir, and you have to convert their degree measures and radian measure. We'll discuss about this topic. Now, main concept of this topics is about degree measures and radian measures. There is the tricks of degree measure, radian measure. So the trick is radian measure by pi, radian measure by pi, radian measure by pi is equal to degree measure by pi is equal to degree measure by 180. This is the trick for this topic. This is the trick of this topic. The trick is that you have to memorize in your mind to be perfectly. That trick is that radian measure by pi is equal to degree measure by pi. This is the tricks. Trick. This is the tricks, and this is the trick. And some of the questions we are discuss in this topic. Question number is one. Question number one. Question number one. Question number one. convert convert 60% to radian, 60% to radians using convert 60% to radians using pi by a, pi by a to represent to represent the radian measure, to represent the radian measure. This is the question. Convert 60% to radian using pi by a to represent the radian measure. Option number is 3, 1 by 3, 3 by 3, 6. The option is like this. And we have tricks. We have trick in this topic. We have already mentioned these tricks, and these tricks help to solve all concept of radians and degree measure regarding to the unit circles trigonometric. That trick is very helpful to you for the digital set. For the digital set, let's we move on tricks. That tricks is radian measure, radian measure by radian measure by pi is equal to degree measure by 180, by 180. In this question, pi by a is radian measure is mentioned, pi by a is mentioned, divided by pi, divided by pi is equal to degree measure is 60 degree, that is degree measure is 60 degree, and 180 you have to do divide pi by pi and divide, you have to do in multiply, then there is a pi is equal to 61 by 3, 60 into 3 means 180, then this pi and this pi is cut off, so 1 by a is equal to 1 by 3, it means 1 and 1 is cut off, thus a is equal to 3, so a is equal to 3. The answer goes on a. So you have to read this formula. Radian measure by degree measure is equal to radian measure by pi is equal to degree measure by 180. Let's we move on another questions by tips and tricks. Let's we move on another question by tips and trick. Question number 2. Question number 2. Question number 2. The number of the number of radian in a the number of radian in a 135 degree angles, the numbers of radians in a 135 degree angles can be can be written as can be written as a pi, can be written as a pi, to where a is a constant, 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 then what is the value of a? Then what is the value of a? Option number is 0.80, 0.75, 0.6, 0.5. Which one of the following is the correct options from these questions? We have to do in tricks. We have to do in tricks. These tricks help us to boost your scores, and your confident level goes on a high. The numbers of radians, the numbers of radians in a 135 angles can be written as a pi, where a is a constant. What is the value of a? What is the value of ne? Now we'll go on by the help of tricks. There is radian measure formula, and another is degree measure. Yes, then we have to go radian measure by pi is equal to degree measure, degree measure by 180. Radian measure by pi is equal to degree measure by pi. So radian measure is given a pi, written as a pi. Radian measure is a pi, and there is already pi. And degree measure is that 135 is the degree measure by 180. So pi pi cut, a is equal to 135 by 180. We'll move on calculator. 135 divided 180, 0.75, 0.75. Where is 0.75 is the answer. For hacking the digital set, the answer goes on B. The answer goes on B for hacking the digital set, tips and tricks. Now we'll move on question number 3. We'll move on question number 3. We'll move on question number 3. Suppose convert convert 90-degree to radian. We have two tricks. Among them, one is very short. One is very short. Option number is pi, pi by 2, pi by 3, pi by 4. By tricks, we can solve 90-degree means degree measure. Yes, we have tricks. Radian measure by pi is equal to degree measure by pi. Degree measure by 180. So let the radian convert 90-degree to the radian. Let the radian measure be x, and pi is mentioned in formula, and degree measure is that 90-degree. 180 is given. So uh, so x by pi is equal to 1 by 2. So 2x is equal to pi, and x is equal to pi by 2. X is equal to pi by 2. This is the option goes on B. And we have another trick from this question. Another tricks very easy. Another tricks is that if you want to find l- convert 90 degree to the radian, we have to find any sorts of question is radian. Case of a radian, then you have to go 90 degree. It means 90 degree into, you have to do only 5 by 180. We have to go like this, means 5 by 2 is the answer. If question is mentioned in, if question is mentioned in case of radian, 90 degree to the radian, so you have to use 90 into 5 by 180. Case of degree, suppose in this case 90 into 180 by pi you have to do. This is the trick for the degree case. This is trick for radian, this is trick for degree. If you don't know these tricks, then you have to apply the above tricks. That is better trick for all the question solving any types of question. Now next we have another questions for this topics also. Question number 4. Question number 4 is that, question number 4. In a circles with center O, in a circles with center O, in a circles with centers O, centrals, centrals angle EOB, EOB, centrals angles EOB has a measure of, EOB has a measure of, very important question for the digital sat, 2 by 3 pi radians, 2 by 3 pi radians. The area of sector, the area of sectors, the area of the sector formed by central angles, formed by central angles, the area of sector formed by central angles EOB, the area of the formed is by central angles AOB is what fractions, is what fractions, is what fractions of the area of the area of circles, area of the circles. Option number A, 2 by 3, 3 by 2, and 1 by 3, 3. We have tricks. We have tricks. So the trick is that central's angle, central's angles by 360 means 2 pi. 2 pi भनेको 360. 2 pi is equal to 360, or you have to apply 2 pi is equal to, there is area means you have to apply sector area by circles area. The central angles area is that 2 by third pi is mentioned. Central angles and 2 pi is this, and you have to find this. You have to find these fractions of sector area by circle area. Means we have to do, suppose x means sector area and circle area be x, then we have to go this 2 and this 2 is cut, pi cut, 1 by 3 is equal to x. So x is equal to 1 by 3 is the right answers for this question. There is question is asking, so what fraction, means 1 by third is the fractions, 1 by third is the fractions sector area by circle area. Suppose we are putting x, so the fractions of this area of circles is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 is the fractions of this question. You have to understand, and I will give some hint also. I will give you some hint. I will give you some hint from this hint. Suppose this is degree measure, degree, degree measure, and radian measure. You have to understand this little bit. Suppose there is 30 degree, then you have to understand pi by 6. You have to understand. Suppose there is 60 degree, then pi by 3. You have to understand pi by 3. Suppose 45 degree, there is 45 degree, means you have to understand pi by 3. Pi means what? 22 by 7. Pi means 22 by 7. You have to understand. Today we will in these topics. This topic is very helpful for the digital set and scoring your mark.